Welcome in. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Cecilia. I was in UHP CPT class back in 2022 already. Goodness. What I have for you today is going to be about a 30-minute flow. Just recognizing that we don't always have an hour, and I want to be able to offer you guys options. So grab whatever is going to make you cozy, mats, blankets, and we'll start standing today. So everything I do today is going to be standing. If you would like to do one of the longer ones, they'll be in the library. So go ahead and grab all your things, get settled in, and I'm going to start facing this way so you can see me. We're going to start just sort of bringing your heels towards your glutes here. Just sort of back and forth at your own pace, your own rhythm. And then when you're ready, finding stillness, we're going to start with the feet. Lifting all toes up and then just lowering them back down. We're just going to lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. This time, lifting all your toes, spreading them out. Might feel a little weird. And lowering them down onto the mat, spread out. And then releasing. So we're going to lift all of our toes again. Spread all of your toes out. Lower them down onto the mat. And then release. One more time. Lifting. Spreading all of the toes out. Lowering them down onto the mat. And then release. And then take a moment and shake that out. I promise there's a method to the madness. Once again, standing here on your mat, you're going to lift all your toes, spread them out, lower them down onto the mat or the floor, but this time, see if you can grip the floor with your toes. Noticing how that feels in your arches, maybe along the sides of your feet, maybe your heels. And then release. Lifting, spreading all the toes out, lowering them down onto the mat, and then gripping the mat with those toes. And then release. And then from here, just sort of shift side to side. So towards like the outer edge of one foot and the arch on one foot, and then just shifting back and forth here. Slight bend in the knees. And then finding stillness here in the middle. Lifting all your toes up, spreading them out, and then just letting them come back down onto the mat. And then just sort of shifting your weight forward and back. So this movement may not be as big. Just back and forth. Noticing how that feels. Maybe you feel yourself rolling through your arches. Maybe onto the pads of your feet, back towards your heels. Just noticing what you notice. And then finding stillness one more time. Noticing where your weight is in your feet. Seeing if you can evenly distribute the weight between the big toe, the little toe, and your heel. Sometimes we have a tendency to kind of roll in or roll out, but seeing if we can find that balance throughout the foot. And then from there, noticing how your ankles are feeling. Noticing the shins and the calves. Moving up to your knees, slight bend in the knees. And then bringing your awareness up to your quads and your hamstrings. bringing some engagement so that you feel the quads, the hamstrings, the inner thighs working here. Noticing your glutes, engaging the glutes here so you feel strong and engaged through the lower legs. Take an inhale in and an exhale out. And then from here, noticing your torso. Noticing how your hips are feeling. Are your hips in line with your knees naturally? Or maybe you need to adjust to there. Finding length through the back, through the spine here. And noticing if your ribs are flaring out and seeing if you can bring them in. Working your way up to your shoulders. Noticing if your shoulders are in line with the hips, which are in line with the knees, which are in line with the ankles. Take a nice inhale in and an exhale out. And then noticing your head and your neck. We're going to inhale our shoulders up. Exhale round, palms facing towards me. And here we are in Tadasana, in mountain pose, in this strong mountain that you have built for yourself. Noticing how the foundation of the feet have worked all the way up to the crown of your head here, so that you can find strength and support. Notice how active that this posture feels. Because you're engaging in holding yourself here in this support. And let's take a nice big inhale in through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. And then take a moment and release that. So we're going to use this posture today as our foundation for quite a few of our movements today. So we're going to come to, well, I'm going to come to the top of my mat here. You can also come to the top of your mat or turn sideways in your space if you need to. Once again, finding or rooting those feet in, making sure that you're evenly distributed between the big toe, the little toe, and the heel here. Making that firm Tadasana. We're going to inhale our shoulders up, exhale back and down, palms facing out. Take a nice inhale in and exhale it out. Inhale your arms up. We're going to exhale, forward fold. Have a nice bend here in the knees. Inhale to flat back. And exhale down. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Gaze towards the fingertips. Exhale them down. Let's do that again. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale down. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale them down. Inhale your shoulders up. Exhale around and back and down, palms face towards the front. Taking a moment to notice how that felt for you. And release. We're going to add on, kind of going into a bit of a sun salutation, Surya Namaskar A. So once again, coming to the front of your mat. Inhaling both arms up. exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale down. Bend your knees, step your right foot back. You can lower that knee down if you'd like. Coming into a lunge here. Bringing your hands back down. You're going to step your left foot back so you're in plank. Shifting a bit over your wrist here. Option to do knees and then chest and chin to come into your cobra here, or upward dog. Curl your toes back under. Press back into your plank. Shift your hips back for your down dog. This time, you're going to step your right foot forward. And then bring your left foot up. Inhale to flat back. Exhale down. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale and down. We're going to inhale our shoulders up. Round the shoulders back and down, palms facing forward. Other direction, inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale down. This time, you're going to step your left foot back. Bring that knee down if you'd like. Reach up into a lunge. Bringing the hands forward. Curl that left foot under. Step your right foot back to meet the left. Option to lower all the way down, or here we can do knees, chest, chin. Allow yourself to slide up into your cobra or your upward dog. Curl your toes under. Pressing back into that plank, shifting your hips back into your down dog here. This time, you're going to step the left foot forward. Bring the right foot up to meet it. Inhale to flat back. And exhale down. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale and down. Inhale your shoulders up. Exhale, round them back and down. Palms face forward. And then release. Take a moment, shake that out. And then we're going to come to the mat here, nice and wide, nice bend. Shift your hips back and forth a little, or bend the knees back and forth a little. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold here. So hands at the hips or the creases here. And you're going to shift your hips back, having as much bend in your knees as you need. Reaching towards the ground here. If you need your blocks, you can grab your blocks. Allow your head to hang heavy. Allow your shoulders to be heavy, but your jaw to be soft. So bring a gap between the upper jaw and the lower jaw here. Keep your eyes open in this posture in case you decide to roll away. And breathe. Nice bend in the knees. Carefully rolling yourself back up. You can heel toe your feet back in. We're going to step to the top of our mat one more time, working our way down to the ground here. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale down. This time, bend the knees. You're going to step back into a tabletop. And just like we were in our Tadasana, knees in line with the hips. This time, wrists and shoulders in line. Spread your fingers out, having your thumbs point towards each other. And see if you can bring a bit of the weight into your fingertips to help save your wrists. If you need to, or like to, if you have sturdy books or some blocks, you can place your hands on the blocks. This will shift your center of gravity a bit, and you may feel this more in towards your hips. So if you're having hip or knee issues, I would not recommend using books or blocks here, but if you're fine, you can stay here with these. And that just helps to alleviate sometimes some of the weight in the wrist. Another option is fists here. Do what makes you feel comfortable. And take a nice inhale in. And exhale, sigh it out. And then see if you can bring the eyes of your elbows forward. Engaging those triceps here. You're going to press the floor away with your hands here. So you may feel a bit of rounding in the back. You can bring your chin towards your chest. And then release. Bring big toes to touch. Wiggle the knees towards the outer edges of your mat if you have one, or out towards the sides, and start to shift your hips back. And we're just going to shift back and forth a bit here before we settle into our child's pose or our wisdom pose. Shifting back and forth. Being mindful of your knees and your hips here. And then when you feel ready, shifting back for your child's pose or your wisdom pose. If you have a block or a book, you can maybe place your head on the block if you prefer. Or if you'd like, you can reach out long. Allowing your forehead to come down to the mat. And you can even massage your forehead, shifting your head back and forth here if you'd like. If you like a little bit of extra gripping the floor, your mat with your fingertips here, you may feel a nice little stretch through the back, the shoulders, maybe in towards the armpits. And then carefully release, bringing your arms in toward your body. Maybe bending at the elbows here. Almost like a Sphinx posture. And then carefully coming back to your tabletop. So bringing your wrists once again in line with your shoulders, knees in line with the hips. Reaching long through the spine. And if you'd like, curl your toes under, start to lift your knees away from the floor, and shift back into a down dog here. Having as much bend in your knees as you need. Option to stay here or to pedal your feet out, bending one knee and then the other. Sometimes I just like to be still and breathe. Shift your gaze towards your fingertips. Start to bend your knees, coming back into that tabletop. And then we're going to have a seat. Bringing our legs out in front of us. Finding length between the neck and the shoulder here. Pressing your hands into the mat beside you, staff pose. And breathe. It's almost like you're trying to press yourself away from the mat. And release. Bring your left foot in any amount here. If you need to, you can grab your blocks, like you could place a block under the bent leg here in whatever setting you need it, or a book or a pillow. And maybe this is great for you today, or maybe you would like to shift your gaze towards those middle toes on that extended right leg and start to shift forward here like a hinge, and then reach for the toes or the leg. If you need extra stretch, if you're like Gumby, you can place your block at the edge of your foot here. Whatever's best for this side. And then release your head last. And breathe. And carefully walk yourself up. Extend the left leg out long. Maybe hinge back here for a moment. Or you could even bend your feet and sort of shift side to side here. And then extending your legs long again. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine. Bringing the right foot in this time. Option to stay here. Or starting to shift your gaze over those middle toes, hinging here at the waist as you reach for that foot or that ankle or calf. Allowing this to be a new side. So not comparing how you did on the other side. Sometimes easier said than done, but that's okay. We'll work on it together. And carefully walking yourself up, extending the right leg out long. Maybe this time just shifting side to side here. And then we're going to work our way onto our backs. So however you can safely get to your back here. Give yourself a moment to adjust your clothing or your hair if you need to. Palms are going to be facing down. And then noticing how your back feels here. See if you can press your full back into the mat. It may start to feel like your hips are lifting away. And pressing your feet, the big toe, the little toe, and the heel into the mat. So this is a very active posture here. May feel a little bit of shaking, but continue to breathe, holding the posture and not your breath. And release. Take a moment, hug the left knee in towards the chest, any amount here. You can grab under the knee here or around the shin. Whatever's most accessible for you. Continue to breathe. And release. Other side. So hugging that right knee in. Once again, doing what's best for this side. So just because you may be grabbed around the shin on the left side does not mean that you may be there on the right side, or maybe you can hug the side end tighter. Who knows? Just allowing yourself to do what feels best, what works best for this side. There's a judgment-free zone. Comparison-free. Allowing yourself to be aligned and in tune enough to see what you need without comparing to where you were. Or may have been in the past. And release. This time, we're going to hug both knees in any amount. And you're going to take a nice inhale in. And you're going to exhale and give yourself a nice little squeeze. And then inhale and squeeze. And then release everything out. Legs long, arms out to the sides. If it feels better, you can place your hands over your head or even behind your head here. Bringing a little bit of openness, stretch to the chest and maybe a bit into the arms and the shoulders here. Whatever feels best for you. And take a moment to see how you're feeling. Seeing what you notice as you continue to inhale and exhale here. Giving yourself permission to adjust your posture. Don't hold anything that's going to be uncomfortable or causes discomfort. But this posture should feel restful. Maybe feel a bit of ease here. And just allow yourself to soften in. If you need to adjust, feel free to do so. And if you'd like, take a nice big inhale in through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. And feel free to stay in that posture. I'm just going to sit up as I guide these last few moments together. But as you continue to rest here, I invite you to bring some newness into this new month. Embrace all of your accomplishments from March, but allow April to be new. Whatever new is to you. Could be a transition, could be a stepping stone. Maybe you're moving into something or moving into the next step of something. And although you carry all your accomplishments and maybe all of the trials or harder times that you may have experienced in March with you, allow yourself to continue to grow, to expand, also moving into spring and, flowers bloom. Allow yourself to bloom. Whatever that looks like for you. And as you continue to go throughout April, it's your friendly reminder to think positively about yourself, to speak positively about yourself to others and yourself. And to give yourself the same grace and love and kindness that you give to those that you interact with, to those in your community, in your family. Remind yourself that you are worthy of kindness, of grace, and love. And that even though you continue to go out and serve others, you are also important. You also deserve to be able to refill your cup in whatever way that looks like for you. But it's important for you to take that time for yourself, and that it is not being selfish, but that you are allowing yourself to rest so that you can be the you that you want to be. And I invite you this month to close out your practice in whatever way that looks for you. So if you want to stay in your resting posture longer, allow yourself to do that. If you are ready to close your practice, find something that honors you and will help you bring that practice to a close, whether that's breath or maybe a specific posture, maybe hands to heart center, whatever closing out your practice looks like today. Allow yourself to do that. And I know it'll be beautiful. And I will see you next month. Happy spring.